All right, guys, we're starting Unit 3 today, so this is going to be Objective 4 on Canvas. This is Lesson 1. We're starting on two-way tables. This whole objective is going to be over two variable statistics. So, we're going to be looking at utensils and paper preferences right here. Several students are surveyed about whether they prefer writing with a pen or a pencil, and they are also asked whether they prefer lined paper or unlined paper. Some of the results are, so important to note here that this is our total number. So the survey included 100 different students, so total. Okay, 40 students said they prefer using pen more than pencil. 45 students said they prefer using unlined paper more than lined paper. 10 students said they prefer lined paper and pen. And 45 students said they prefer pencil and lined paper. So, for each part, explain or show your reasoning. So that's what we're going to answer those questions. But we're going to take this information here and we're going to put it into a table so it's a little easier to read. So up here, we're going to start in this middle column, this one right here, this first one. I don't believe we are going to put anything in it, so you can just color it in if you want to. So right here in the top row in the second column, we are going to put, let's just put prefer pen and prefer pencil. Okay, and then in our first row on the second two columns, we are going to put, first column, second two rows. We're going to put prefer lined paper and prefer unlined paper. Okay. Let's look up here. This one is specific in that it's only talking about using a pen more than a pencil. So that means that I'm going to make another column down here and say total. And, another row and another column over here and say total as well. So 40 students said they prefer using pen more than pencil. That tells me nothing about my unlined or lined paper. So that tells me that this is going to be our total. So 40 total students prefer using pen more than pencil. If it just tells you one variable, odds are it's going to just be for that specific row or column. Okay, without including the other variable. So variable 1 is going to be pen or pencil. Variable 2 is going to be lined or unlined paper. All right, 45 students said they prefer using unlined paper more than lined paper. So that's going to be our total of unlined, 45. Okay, 10 students said they prefer lined paper and pen. So that is going to go in the column for pen and the row for lined paper. So that's where our 10 is going to go. So lined paper, pen. And 45 students said they prefer pencil and lined paper. So, lined paper and pencil is here. Okay, so if we add these up, we will get 55 over here. Our total number when we add these two together should be 100. The same thing should happen when we add these together. So 40 plus what gives me 100? That's 60. So I can fill in the rest of my table using this information. So if I add these down, these two right here, I have 10 plus a number is 40. So 10 plus what is 40? That is going to be 30. Okay? Same thing right here. 45 plus what is 60? Or I could say 60 minus 45 is what? And we're going to say it's 15. Then we're going to double check that everything lines up. 10 plus 45, does it equal 55? Yes, we're good. 30 plus 15 equals 45. Is that true? It is. So, now let's answer these questions. How many students prefer using pencil more than pen? That's going to be our total number in this column right here. So 60 students. I'm just going to say 60 students. And to explain or show our reasoning, we did that by going through the table. So if you want to explain it a little farther, then let's say hold on one second. Let's say 60 students because there are 100 total students. And we know from this information right up here, we know that 40 students prefer pen. Okay, how many students prefer using pen and unlined paper? So here we're going to say our 30. We got it up there in our table already. So 30 students. We know this because 40 students prefer pen total. And we know that 10 students prefer, preferred lined paper and pen. So 40 minus 10 equals 30. How many students prefer using pencil and using pencil and unlined paper? So we're looking at this number right here. Let's see here. We know that it's 15. So 15 students. Because, let's see here. What did they tell us? We know that 45 students prefer pencil and lined paper. Okay, so that came from right here, this one. And what else do we know? We know that and we just determined that's what we did. We just determined that 60 total students would be on the prefer pencil. And 60 students prefer pencils. So if we take 60 and subtract 45, we get 15. Another way we could say this is that we know that the 45 students using, so this number right here, I'm going to change to pink for this one because I'm re-explaining that you could do this a couple of different ways. So we know that 45 students said they prefer using unlined paper more than lined paper. So that's coming from right here. And we just determined that 30 students prefer unlined paper and pen. So if we subtract 45 from 30, we will get 15. Okay, let's go to the next page. We have fruit fly mutations. A scientist is trying to determine the role of scientific genes by looking at traits of fruit flies. The offspring of 2 fruit flies are examined to determine the color of their eyes and whether they have curled wings or standard wings. 80 offspring are randomly selected, and the results are recorded in the two-way table. So first thing I want to do right now is I'm going to add over here. I'm going to add my totals, just like I did on the last table. So we have 17 plus 5, that is 22. Okay. 45 plus 13, that is 58. 22 plus 58 equals 80. 17 plus 45 should be 62. And 5 plus 13 is 18. 62 plus 18 is 80. So first, let's look at number 17 for our questions down here. We're going to describe what 17 represents in this table. So I'm just going to circle it right here. We're looking at this number right here. So when I'm looking at this, I see that means 17 fruit flies were examined and they had red eyes and curled wings. Okay. How many selected fly offspring had white eyes? So we're going to look in our column right here, our white eyes. We have 5, 13. We already added those together and got 18. So 18 fly, we'll say fly offspring had white eyes because 5 plus 13 equals 18. All right, how many selected fly offspring had standard wings? Let's change to a purple color this time. So we're looking at our standard wings. So we're looking down this column right here. So 45 plus 13 is 58. So 58 fly offspring had standard wings because that was 45 plus 13 equals 58. So you're just adding down the table. This is your last page. I know this lesson was kind of short. This is important. This is something that I used whenever I took genetics in college. This is something they actually do. We did have fruit flies. So do your best on the practice problems. The practice problems are shorter today. I'm fairly certain you guys only have like 4 or 5 questions. It's just about reading the tables, just like I walked through with you guys right here. So do your best. Be good for the sub. Email me if you have any questions, and I'll see you tomorrow.